Good afternoon, morning. I don't know actually when people will be seeing this, but hello, everybody. Hello, Jerome. How are you?
Hey Norma, I'm doing excellent. How you doing?
I am doing good. I am making it despite all these things that keep coming up. It's all good. I'm having a good day, a good week, a good year.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot. I already told you this, but you look pretty today.
Oh, thank you. That is so sweet of you. And you look handsome.
Thank you. And I want to go further, right? Cuz I was having a conversation and I was having a conversation with a woman, another black woman, and she was like she gave me like some negative like pushback about like she's I was like, you're falling for marketing, and she was giving me like a lot of feedback on like y'all don't know what y'all like, and she was talking about like men and in general, like specifically she was talking about black men. She was like, y'all like this stuff and that stuff and y'all like all this, and basically what she was saying, some of the conversations we've had before, right?
Mm,
Makeup and fake hair, and I was like, no, we don't like any of that stuff. You're falling for the marketing of what they're telling you that we like. We
mm.
like we like our women with very little makeup, and we like our women with their natural hair. And I always compliment you about your hair because I like your hair, and I want to get that public because people don't understand. Like I was with my daughter this
Mm.
weekend, and her hair was like all messy, like kind of, and I was like, "Baby, your hair is beautiful."
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just need our women to understand that they are beautiful with their natural hair. You can switch it up, but I need our women to understand that they are beautiful with their natural hair, and I want to say that publicly while I have you here. And you know how much I compliment your hair, right?
Yes, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. Really, my husband says the same thing. You're more worried about your body image and your hair than I am. A lot of times when I get up in the morning, I'm like, I woke up like this, but he'll want to go do something, and I said, "Wait, I got to do something." He's like, "Girl, put your hair back on, put a t-shirt on, and let's go." And I'm like, "Well, but he doesn't care." So I get what you're saying. We worry about stuff that you all don't. Hmm.
Yes, we don't care. So
Hmm. So
yeah.
you focus it more in on the mind. Is that what you do?
Um.
The natural
No.
looks and the mind, and how
Yes.
you're being
I
treated.
like. Yeah, I like. Yes, those are the things that matter the most. And I was telling her the same thing again. Like this woman, I was like, we don't. I was like, you know what? Like the least interesting women are typically they're like super beautiful, and
Hmm.
they're used to receiving like some kind of attention, and they think they don't have to do anything, and those are the women you typically don't want
Mm.
because they're so used to that attention, and because they're so pretty, and they just think they have to sit there, and that's not like, maybe you want to do something with that woman, but like long term you don't want that woman. Like we want women that are willing to put in the work.
Oh, now there you go.
Yes.
Because my husband sure tries to make me work. Come on, girl,
Yeah.
you can pick that up. I'm like,
Because
no, I can't.
yeah, because after the romance, like
Yeah.
there's duty. Like, and we have, it's like, are you going to be there for me? Are you going to do the things that I need you to do? Show up, right? And like, we were supposed to be talking about short term rentals, but this is like relevant. I always tell, like, the way you look when you put your makeup on and all of that stuff is not what we get. We get when you wake up and your hair is wild and you don't have makeup on and you're like, you know what? I don't, that's the version that we get. That's the version that we want to see. That's so,
Eventually, yes. Yeah.
yeah. I want to see it right away.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's the version we get. Like surprise, no surprises. Show me
Yeah.
what I'm going to. This what I'm going to have for the rest of my life, and I accept that.
Yes. Yes. That's those are very good points. I feel you, and I hope women get that message. Yeah. Take a lot of pressure off of us, ladies.
Yeah, yeah. Like still take care of yourself. Look pretty like Norma right here, right? You can tell she put some effort into herself, but
Yeah. Put
like
effort in, but you don't have
yeah,
to look this way all the time. You can look like
yeah,
you do when you wake up.
yeah. It doesn't have to be a grand production all the time. Jeez.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I feel you on that. But it does have to be a grand production when you're doing a short term rental. There's
Good
so
transition.
many things that you have to consider. For example, you have to be ready for anything. Uh, you know, let's start with Philadelphia. where you are, Jerome? What happened over the last, I think within the last 7 days, you had a bridge to collapse. Now, how is that going to affect your guests getting to you? And, even people may say, well, the main artery in Philadelphia collapsed. I don't know if I should go there. You could get cancellations based on that. So, in that particular instance, what I would do if I had short term rentals in Philadelphia, I would call my guests and reassure them that this is not going to affect their stay, because they do obviously have to reroute traffic. Now, depending on the location of your short term rental, hey, you may not be affected, but if you are, I wouldn't mention it. But anyway, yeah, you should call them and let them know that it's okay, everything is okay to come. So yeah, because if people are coming for tourism, it's a very, very tricky thing, very touchy. Because I've had instances. Well, for example, my properties in Washington D.C. Who would have thought that the Canada fires would affect your short-term rental business in Washington D.C.?
Nobody. And I'm interested in hearing more about that. Like, how did that affect your short-term rental business? Right? Because that's like it happened in Canada, and I'm not sure where you are. I was on the call, like our co-recall together,
Yes.
and they said, "Are y'all okay down there in like in this down south, like further down?" And I was like, yes, but like they weren't like whoever mentioned it, I can't remember. They weren't like really affected by the smoke, and every like we were. I was like, oh, how did it not affect them if they're like higher up, or like maybe it was I wasn't sure. So can you tell us? Can you tell us like how that affected you in DC? Because we had the smoke. I kept looking outside. Like I have an
Okay.
office right here. I
Yeah.
had smoke, and I was like, it's going to rain. And then I heard they
Right.
were like, no, it's smoke.
Right. Right. Yeah. It tripped me out too. I mean, it confused me. So here's what happened in D.C. It was very smoky there, and I had guests at several properties. So at a couple of my properties, what happened was the internet crashed, for lack of a better term, because the people didn't go. They were there. They came for the trip, but they didn't feel comfortable going out. So they ended up staying in at the property for the. I I'm imagining the entire time. I didn't monitor them that closely, but what happened was when you have your guests and they all staying inside, they're all on their devices. So if you don't have enough bandwidth to handle those devices, then like one guest said, well, we're watching a movie and it keeps kicking us off. And it came down to a simple not enough bandwidth problem. And so I didn't anticipate that because that unit only holds like a maximum of 3 guests. But people have cell phones, laptops, computers, those gaming. One person can have 3 devices.
Yeah, easily,
Yeah. So
easily.
it kept crashing. And it's unfortunate. Really, I couldn't do anything about it immediately except call the company to increase the bandwidth, which increased my cost, of course. But I had to make sure that the guests were happy. So that was how it affected one particular guest or guest in this one building that I have, not enough bandwidth. And the other situation was here in Columbus. We had the smoke here. And to be honest with you, I wasn't sure at first. I thought my neighbors were barbecuing 24 hours a day. I'm like, that's enough. Because all the smoke was coming in my house and I was sneezing and my eyes were itching and stuff. But it turns out it wasn't my neighbors barbecuing, it was that smoke from Canada. So, oh man, in addition to that, we had 93-degree weather. So, 3 of my properties, the air conditioner went out. Um,
Oh my God.
yeah. So the short term solution was I got fans in this Arctic tower for them, and so it uses ice and it throws out cold air. That was a lifesaver. Oh my goodness. So that was a short term solution. You can't really use a fan when you have smoke, but you can use that Arctic fan to cool things off. So now I have a couple of them on standby just in case, because you never know. And this just adds to the equipment that I have to have, because I have
Where'd you get it from?
Home Depot,
Okay.
Home Depot, and then I also have heaters, space heaters on hand, and I buy them at the end of the season because you can get them really cheap. Then, like if you bought them, if anybody had any space heaters right now, you could probably practically get it for free. you know, so you always want to have space heaters on hand in case your heat goes out.
And you just gave that's a good tip that you just gave. Like before, I was like, all right, I need it like an air conditioner, and I was like, but I need to buy it before everyone else buys it. And you're like, yeah, if you buy the stuff at the end of the season, like you get it for a discount. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
a tip that people need to pay attention to.
Oh, I buy everything at the end of the season. So I buy everything on sale that that I have to, that I can. If it's an emergency, a dying emergency, obviously I have to pay the price that it's offered at. But I'm always thinking in advance of what if this happens, what if that happens, what will I need to solve the problem. So here in Columbus, as I was saying, so and it affected me too. Like I said, I thought I had all these new allergies. I couldn't understand it. But my air conditioner went out too. Oh my goodness. And so before we really realized what was going on, my husband had the window open, blowing that smoke into the room. And I about died. I'm telling you. I told him, "You're trying to kill me."
He's so dramatic. He's
That's what he said. He's
dramatic. Yes, you are.
So yeah, those were two things that affected. Well, it was the hot weather here more than the smoke. When the weather turned, because this was like May 31st. We don't usually get 93-degree weather in May. So yeah, I had three air conditioners to go out. So I have these home warranties, right? And so they will cover the damage. I mean, they will fix the air conditioners. Well, one of them, it was so busy I couldn't get a technician from the warranty companies out in time. So I called whoever I could. A company is called Fast Response. They came out fast. They responded right away, but they weren't a part of the company that had the warranty. So I had to pay them out the pocket. But that's okay. My guests were happy. That's number one. And then number two, so then I ended up getting a new air conditioner at my house, though, that I didn't have to pay for.
Nice.
I had to pay a little bit, but not the full price because they couldn't fix my air conditioner.
Well, but don't you like the warm weather?
Oh, I prefer warm weather. Well, I like all four seasons.
Okay.
I like having a winter, spring, summer, and fall simply because, you get to the apple trees. The apples are harvested in the fall, and you get all the leaves turning colors. And my grandkids that are in Houston, when they came here, they saw that and they were so excited that the leaves turned colors. And then my kids do ski, so I appreciate it. Now I don't ski because I probably break something, but anyway, um, I appreciate every season.
Okay. I appreciate the contrast, like what you're saying, cold, hot, because it would
Mhm.
be boring. But I do like colder seasons a little better because
Yeah. Now,
fall and winter.
here's the thing too. The places that don't get winter, they have really big bugs.
Oh yes, thank you.
Really big bugs, roaches. They're 10 times the size of the roaches up here.
Oh,
So no, I prefer to live up north because the insects and bugs don't get so big. They get killed off, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so that for that reason. And by the way, bringing that up, I do always for all of my properties are on a schedule for pest control.
Microbiologist.
Right, right. Now every spring, I don't care no matter what, it's like clockwork. Ants come into the house. Them little bitty ants they get in. So yeah, I'm on it. We get the pest control going. In fact, I got the pest control coming between 12 and 2 at one of my properties today. So we keep them on the regular pest control, uh, changing the air filters in the furnace, the HVAC, a regular schedule on changing the batteries on the keyless entry locks, regular schedule on changing the batteries on the remote cameras. You know, so many things that you got to put on a schedule, and that those are some of the things. But we were
And
talking.
like we talk about like short-term rentals and we do this stuff, but you like I don't think we talk about this enough. Like you help other people like build their systems and get their stuff in place, right?
Well, actually, I do help other people get build their systems and put things in place, but I also ultimately manage their properties too because they don't have time to do it because it is very time consuming, particularly dealing with the guest. That's the most time
Okay.
consuming thing, and you have to be so update on the rules, and they're always changing for each platform. And you don't want to get kicked off the platform because you're not familiar with the rules. And so, yeah, yep, I do. I
So
help.
that's your service, and how do we learn about your service? Tell us how we can work with you.
Well, you can go to normarichards.com as soon as it's built. But you can call me, text me at 614-256-3470. That's the best way to contact me. Text me at that number, 614-256-3470.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you can continue because you
Okay.
offer service and you're giving value, and like we got to remember, like, hey, I can help you out with this.
Exactly, exactly. So we talked about how the smoke affected short-term rentals,
Mhm.
you know, and who would know that you needed more bandwidth in your short-term rentals as a result of the smoke because people didn't go anywhere. Secondly, also in Philadelphia, that bridge that collapsed,
Mhm.
it'll affect people's um, whether they want to still to make the trip or not because it might
Mhm.
concern them. Number three, the hot days are coming. And it's usually in July where we get these 93-degree temperatures, but I'm actually glad it happened in May. By the way, today is like 50 degrees.
Mhm.
I can't believe this weather. But anyway, it happened early, so the air conditioners could fail early. So I'm ready for the
That's the
summer.
blessing in disguise.
It
Yeah.
was. Yeah, it's a silver lining and everything. Yeah. So those are some of the impromptu things that have come up. So I offered some short-term solutions and some long-term solutions.
All right.
Hmm. The short-term being getting those space heaters and fans ready. That's short-term, but also having, a home warranty. And if that doesn't work, someone you can call right away to get the things done. And also making sure you do regular maintenance on your HVAC system.
That's
So,
the episode.
yeah.
All right. We're gonna close this out.